and sneaky game. And for those of you that are involved, especially in Gambian politics, and you follow politics from outside or politics of West Africa, Africa in general, you would have an idea of how sometimes politicians can, be very dangerous with politics. Now, out of all of this, one thing politicians have not been able to remove from or to change is the fact that if you want to be a great politician, if you want to be a successful politician, you must always have to maintain that majority support. That one is fixed, and it's an asset that is fixed like land. It only appreciates wherever you go to. When it has to do with democracy, politics is always about numbers. It's always about majority. It's always about numbers. And I repeat again. So how do you build that number? How do you build that political capital? That is what I want to discuss with a lot of you young people, especially those that anytime I make a post, I recognize them as very intelligent, very fresh, talented, ambitious young ones. But for some reason, maturity politically is not much. It's little bit absent. Now, I have few people that I'm going to use as an example. And I think based on those things, you will be able to understand what I am talking about. Like I said, there are a lot of things to discuss, but I have started my engagements way ahead of 2026. This is my median or my maiden video, and we will continue to build that discussion and speak to people about what we mean, what we need to do, and what is at stake for 2026, especially for the Gambia as a country and for us as a local society. So number one, for young people, a lot of you that are interested in politics and you are coming up, one way to build political capital is to try and connect to your local community. Try and engage your community. Try and be involved in community activities. When you have the support of your people, this is the Englishman saying, charity begins at home. You need to have the support of your community. You need to have support of your people. You need to have the support of where you come from, and that is home. If you are a young person, you want to venture into politics, and I'm sure a lot of you do, you want to get into politics. And we are not saying you want to get into politics because you want to be rich. You want to get into politics because you want to serve your people. There is no dignity beyond getting into politics and serving your people. If you want to do it, insulting is not the way. Arguments here and there is not the way. A lot of you already have your first degrees, or you are in the process of getting your first degrees. And for me, when you have your university degree, first degree, in whatever it is, for me, that's okay. That's a very good foundation. But please get engaged at grassroots level. Engage your friends, engage your family members, and engage community. And in this, I do not only mean talk to them about what your ambitions are for them. Also be involved in their day-to-day activities. When there is a football match in the community, participate, play, help in fencing, whatever you can do. Please try and get into this. They may sound very easy, They may sound very cheap, but I tell you, you will thank me later. When you build that connection with people, there are other ways you can engage in the community. But the reason why I'm not picking on those is because at your level, those ones may not be available, and that is financial support. You cannot, most of you cannot even buy yourselves a good pair of shoes. That is $3,000. So financial, involvement, that one we are not going to talk about. But try as much as you can to get involved in community. Benjamin Fokan, Manta Melade, nga diamo kumasele alala de marotom Benjamin Fokan. 2026 simalu nyala amanjam. Nga kumasele nyinno mun na kumase mawoti nga domandoma. Nga kumasele teng binale very actively ka kumol fo molye ni molye kacha what we feel. Bari ku kilim kumayata 2026 election o anyon carte fayote sotola Gambia banko kan. Nga kumol fole mol keke chahanol di bari keje adumbe sila jamba folale nimman satalla tema mien dabi 2026 election anyon carte fayote sotola Gambia banko ntolla modern history nga minje ntol dindingol anyon te sotola nga miranung 2021 nebe kole ala carte fayol beti bari 2026 nebe kole ala carte fay wo carte fay ning ayatuma kontol ya kalamuta kabo yaya jammela 1996 carte fayo kana fo nyim 2021 election o minkeda is going to be the most difficult election ever. Mberisinol sambala na nyata bari nyin kacha kumo mu minti. The purpose of this conversation, we will discuss Fulamandinka, whatever we can. We will put all of them together. Lafta aliye minke walem. Momorondin sako nimu funding kewati ilafta kadum politiko kono. Isa kata ila community, ila molu. Ini etara nyo kalam. Ini nyo faham. Aliye nyo kalamuta dalilo mi ati nan kanyimfo mbinawo tole follow dinningol minu lafta politikola al lafta ka ke nyaton kolti sama al lafta ka la mol saf ke mako e katara palasol to pour ke yirwandi al murum aliyal to ngata ninna moli engage o muyamarol tembe min folaliye near political capital, we have Angale kame political capital wolom coming kanaful tiya politiko kono ka yirwa ka fanka maya politiko kono mbeole diamu kande be fanka maya no la politiko kono nyaadile ma fo ebe million ol sotola no politiko kono nyaadile ma fo ebe bunjangol no la politiko kono nyaadile bari ibe fanka maya no la politiko kono nyaadile itebe lola nyaadile ni diamu ta molie la moila ni sulata molla hanni man fendila ike la fengolu depensite kunna ade ka pare ka faiye ika pare ka suto nin tilo sino bale apurite se sama soto ibe o keno la nyaadi le funding kewlu lafta nga wolle kacha foybe UDP le bang coming kemo bojang a brilliant young man. I love that guy. Mantra party killing, for example, nde yanks dabon in talib nyol fola landin sana nyol because they are already established politically funny atinyade bari woldol sign they already because ale makoyle inata vap ye palace also but I told mimbe wuli kante because politico is getting very important. Molbe karankan Gambia le, molba faham kam politico be nyadile, moli alonko fanan. Politico wobe kola balu nyimma ka soto jele sai. Hani man corrupt, balu nyimma bi jele, moli olon ne sai. So mol bari ibe politico billa no nyadi atol mo funding ke kallanke olu, atol mini alonko ale londo soto, adu almu mo kendol de adu sama. Allafta ale society nyinta alia makoy corruptionol kana soto wala corruptionol kana sia mol se karang ise londi munafa mal soto agriculture seno bunda se betea jada kende bundal se betea atollel mum molde allafta tarrawo palasol leto minube molla jada kende al beti andila mimbe molla senol beti andila minube molla karango londo bunda iba beti andila minube molla silol nila dulalu nila marseolu ibe topotola na dandawal fanela environmentolu na beyangol ni na forestol minu mun na wulolti ibe tangandela flora and fauna atol mil lafta wala mbatol le mbediamu ka atol le ten ni lafta political capital billa nano etara UDP nano etara GDC nano etara NPP nano etara APRC kumin kumayata kuol beti funding kew murila molka mafoni malla fi kala fendi politiko kono ni de lafta wurla molle noma no problem, that's okay. Ni de lafta wurla molle noma or you want to pursue something else, that's fine. But ni lafta palaso le marala ye mol makoy sama mole carte o faye wala hani mol man carte o faye barila kango ni diamuta minno be palaso to e kela moy murila molka funding keol alenga murun na molu kang ngandabula community la do kuoto nde Ahmad Gitteh, like for example molia mera for example mbadunga mfangola example oda people thought it was just President Barrow fifth Gitteh has name moli elon ne jannim President Barrow ka na manzala nde I established a foundation mamira kombe duna politiko kon I established a charity because mufuaroldi ndefama mufuaroldi nakarambu molle ajo in 2008 mbe grade 12 mu head boy at Nusrat 2007 I had 3 scholarships at Nusrat High School, 3 scholarships. What 3 scholarships ibe scholarships kodo kana direct to the school. Mr. Bojambe Baluri na basofi. Nusrat la principal. Kabirin scholarship sabol nata Nusrat yenna school ojo momin be maralin kodo la Nusrat e ka faale Mr. Bite tujeren kolom mo kallanke ba Uncle Umar Bite adum mo dina mo ba alata alala be tujeren kole alon nambe diamo kamina ko ayam kumandina nata la officer ko nyela scholarship sol nata do ngao apply to your school akonya, but I have a suggestion. Akonya nyindolu nse murundi no kanne, it's almost $6,000 times 3 18 2008 waton dolbe school 2007 womu ko dibaldi akonya, what do you want to do with it ngani nga ngaite amara ko nyanda mun kala akonya molbija mini alonko, they are your colleagues, they are very smart, some in your class, others not in your class. Akonya, I would suggest this $12,000 that is left, pay 2 people's school fees. Bite is alive, Umar Bite, he's from Tujereng. And Mr. Bojang, my principal, is alive, he's in Tujereng. They're both in Tujereng. Yalong President Barol ka ba ko ulo la ka fan sedo fada la bela kira nde sedo be balure ngem mention these are nkara molle so ngela nkai no problem nga kodol nyunu jo. But I became very motivated by that. Mr. Bitte that day, he preached me. I'll come to something. He preached me and I was appointed head boy in the son. Fenke Jawara be ba Jawara Baba Jawara be abenun GRTS le barbaka onkolo ma fanana ya moy. He will remember this. He used to be an accountant, a cashier at GRTS. Baba Jawara abe bakao, he's a na alpha kendeba. They took me to GRTS. When I was in GRTS, I was in high school when I was appointed at GRTS. A lot of you know about that story with Yaya Jammeh and all of that. So one day there was this boy, I was head boy, this boy, very brilliant boy. I will not mention his name. And he had a problem with school fees. He was doing arts, but very intelligent. He is one batch below us. He's a PhD holder, by the way, today. He has PhD. The boy has PhD today. He's a doctor. You know, I had a problem of, but at the time, already, Umar Gitteh spoke to me. I was young, grade 11, 12. I mean, I was a young man, very young. This was almost, I'm talking about 2007, 2006, 7, 8, you know, in my high school days. Mr. Gitteh, you know, after that, I was very inspired. When I realized this boy will come to school late, sometimes he has issues, but he's very brilliant. I went to Baba Jawara. I was at GRTS. My salary a month, billahi, was $300. I used to go to GRTS for work. $300. $300 a month. Dollars came up. I went to Baba Jawara. I want a loan. Baba Jawara is in Bakau. He retired, but he would remember this. Nka mako loan to bang, lafta loan nela. Ako nye Gitteh be loan kela nyadi. Nka ko karamuto dinni wala bije. Again, I was going to school and working at GRTS. I want you to know that. This was happening. I was in grade 12 and working with GRTS as a young announcer. So, ndada Baba Jawara and Dondo 6,000. Now, bring a story if I remember caring. This boy is this boy is this. 6,000 cash I already know. In 2008, that's a lot of money. My salary was $300. I picked that money, ndada Umar Gitteh, boyo nying, nko Umar Gitteh, you inspire me a lot. Nka nga nying kodo dondole, nyim boy kare lafta ala karam mojor. Ndeta moto fala de, nta to fala. 6,000 ngala karam mojor. That loan is very funny. Hani bi ninim Baba Jawara benda. That loan, nindara nga kemesa basodo. At the end of the month, 300 nka ole sodo salary. Nindarango Baba Jarango na salary natal akajele almale aso kairola ngala telephone number ni maje mo kende jamal tambitan ni mo jaman tambitan ni mo kende jamale bulola adu ne ala sonday bela julobe jola hani alkiyam insha rabbi hani bi Baba Jawara loan hani bi majo nintara ko nye wait. If you become rich, you pay me. Ha. Kariwo karin sitaya, Baba Jawara. Abenu am kasi al matinu nusura. So, fast forward. Nko, why can't I establish a foundation? Purunga mol makwe. And 2008, I built Gitteh Foundation. Bitunka mol samba school. I have a foundation, I have a charity. Nka mol makwe. Kaben 2008. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. I'm talking about community engagement. I never thought about politics at the time. I don't care. I was grade 10, 11, 12. I don't care about politics at the time, especially for me. My interest has always been, I wanted to be a professor, you know, especially of mathematics in those days. Those are some of the things I wanted to become. So, to date, my charity was able to assist more than 300 students. There are some that we helped. You know, wala na nini UDP nkol kuya danka fo ko yala tol dol alkan neng nga UDP nga jamaje nien neng nke jibe nga jele dol la musolu ibe America ntele la master's degree joye University of the Gambia mbola mavo banda University of the Gambia, because there were times when a master's degree a year bukatam be 25,000-30,000. There are some of them, it had a law school, Gambia law school, in a law school. I didn't pay all of it, we pay part of it. We paid a lot of people's university degree fee at UTG, na foundation, any high school. So ni enneng, keolu yenneng, nkajele, because ila musol ta fole, but Gitteh ila muso sponsor, faketa fent. So what I'm trying to say, again, coming back to building political capital, today, ntela kiti nkafo le nkalole ngafo amanke ko kiti nkol man hanyinya amanke ko isila tannale bari nkalole ngafo ko ni lafta ya jamme samana if you want bring President Barrow to Kiti, I'm going to beat him there. Because political capital, I built political capital. And I extended this to West Coast. Now, when I was doing the politics, already I had that community connection with my people back home, West Coast, and I am very clear, I have no influence in Basse, zero influence in LRR, zero influence in North Bank, zero influence in KMC. I will never say anything about this place because I have zero influence. I don't even think I can ever get one vote from North Bank. If I have one vote from North Bank, that is falhamdulillah. LRR falillah alhamdulillah. But West Coast, I said it. Niyu dipingolungo mbalbute jan will beat you. Presidential election, you also what happened. Kabiring, young people, you are the ones I'm talking to. I am speaking to you. And take it from Gitteh, a young man with the little education and experience. And go to my videos on YouTube. I said a lot, but words and promises that I have made, declarations that I have made, go back to them. Do your statistical analysis about how many of them are right and how many of them are wrong. I am very careful, very young but very careful. I may not be the smartest in the room, but I listen to the smartest. I move with the smartest. So these are things that, you know, are very, 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 very important. And I'm going to tell you this. When I had a problem with NPP's selection of National Assembly members, I told them, you know, do the right thing or you are not going to win. Certainly not West Coast. Because I'm from West Coast and I build interest and I know what I'm talking about. So what happened is, when I was with the team, we were all one. We won victorious. That was the presidential election. We only lost 2 constituencies in the entire West Coast region. That is out of, I think it's 12 constituencies for the presidential election. When we came to parliamentary, I know the situation, but again, I'm connected. I told them, for Birikama South, that's out of it. You are not winning. Don't even think about it. If you want, bring the entire NPP from all over the country and come and compete with us. We may not win. I never will say we will win. And I'll always give a condition. We may not always win. But you that I belong to the same group with, you will not win. Mantra nyimfokam because mbe kamfarine wala lafta fitinola barinka funding ke olunka diamatol me build political capital mbenyin karandilo min ke kam fangola teng mbal fanal hakilol bulandika wala laliata ayal nafa sama because it's important. Parliamentary election, we lost. You know what happened. Out of 12 constituencies, NPP got 1. And you know, there were people minuka for Batuya Jibe, what is going to happen to them, and they don't observe the trend, and they don't understand the dynamics of politics, especially local politics back in the Gambia. We went to, like NPP, we went to local government election, and I was here. I'm not based in the Gambia. I spent almost 15 years in Canada. I'm not in the Gambia. I'm not working in the Gambia. I go to visit, but I am based here. And that tells you how successful community engagement and connection could be. Imagine Ahmad Gitteh not in the Gambia. I'm not based in the Gambia. I have no place there you will call my home, property that Ibafala Jannon Gitteh Kundati, you go and find Ahmad Gitteh there. There is no employment for me there. There is no connection, nothing apart from being here, going and visiting and coming. A non-resident of Gambia for 15 good years. I've been away from that country. The ruling party of a country, Nkweko, parliamentary nalma fengalte win. Imanna kumumwe. Para. 1 out of 12. That's what they got. 1 out of 12 seats in the region. But they thought I am stupid. But young people, listen to me. I'm not stupid. Billah, I'm not stupid. Second one. You all remembered when I declared I wanted to be chairman of Brikama Area Council. The objective was, okay, don't tell me anything. But whatever they were up to, I knew more than they probably knew. Because I have that community connection. If you are connected to your community, it doesn't matter whether you are on the ground or not. That trust and confidence in you is built. I was here in Canada. I was away. My team, Team Gitteh, we are 5 people, just 5. The core Team Gitteh is 5 people. We are all very poor. We are all silly, uneducated. 5 of us, very poor. They were doing their plans. And I'm telling you, this is a party infrastructure. A ruling party with millions of dollars, because not dollars, millions of dollars. And I was here. I went to Gambia in March. And by early April, we had our primaries. The entire West Coast region. Now that tells you how important it is to be connected politically. A lot of money was spent. You have ministers, you have governors, you have chiefs, you have like the government machinery, the entire government machinery, and an entire political party machinery, not an opposition, poor opposition party, a ruling political party. And Gitteh and 4 of his lieutenants, 4 of us, I was away. Ndebijam, Sanji Mume, abe plan kankoma. I went 2 weeks and I won an election at the primaries. That does not just come out of nowhere. You don't just get that through money, because I didn't have money. I want young people, I want you to listen. I won that primary elections because I told them I'm going to beat them. They say, let's go to primary. I say, oh, democracy, that's okay, no problem. I went to primaries and I won. You knew what happened. You all knew what happened. And I'm giving an example of political connection. But in you see what's going to happen. For my constituency, forget about that. You will not, don't even think about winning. Local government, like councillors election came in Gitteh. NPP was, I think, 3rd. They were even 3rd, not even 2nd. They took 3rd. Independent took 2nd. UDP took 1st, because of course I supported the UDP candidate. I voted for Boy Sam, who is in Gitteh. I supported him, and the way he beat the NPP candidate was terrible, and everybody knew about that. You know, the local government comes. You out of 28 wards, West Coast NPP had 2. Out of 28, NPP had 2 seats out of 28, and I told them, you are not going to win. They didn't listen to me. I knew I was not going to win the local government election against Yankuba Dabo. I knew that was not possible. But when you are going for a fight, and my friends that are very close to me during the politics, I told them, we are not going to win. They are alive, and Allah is my witness. I told them, it's not possible, because for me, I was not prepared for what happened. I knew that I didn't have support from the party. I didn't have support. The party bigwig, the party's leaders, they're not for me. But I believe that, you know, when we go through democracy, I am going to beat them, no matter who they are. In my West Coast, I'll beat them. All of them, from the Secretary General of the party to the last person. I told that to my friends. We will win. Because we know West Coast, we know everywhere, we know where they don't know, and we are connected to the community. But what I was not thinking was that if I win the primaries, they were going to still deny me from my win. That was out of my thinking. I didn't plan for that, and from primaries to the election was very close. So you cannot build an infrastructure, a logistics against especially UDP and beat them, or even so, we could not. But what I knew was that I built enough of capital politically to disable anybody who I am with and the person betrays me. Now I'm going to explain that. Nini modenta alien nono barako nono baraka ba fulola yala nono diadale alef nono baraka ba soto. Make sure na mariye bali nonola akoita minna aya beta na yo sembo soto ifana sembo soto kenyo sise buo saji buo apotiba ifana ya make sure ye o sembo soto kaoke no kono. This is politics. You must build something that even if somebody hates you, they must be willing to work with you. And young people, I'm trying to talk to you. You must build that capital to a point that even if somebody hates you, even if somebody doesn't like you, they must be forced to consider consequences of staying away from you. I'm talking to you about the past. If you are not able to drink from the milk barrel, you should be able to put inside sisebuo. For the man that owns the barrel to not be able to drink that milk barrel. This is political capital. And 2026 is coming. Go back to your communities. I told people, and I'm not, this is, kuo bebe alalbu. Barifane ilo, manjada wajada, nimia kata wala kaso. You have to, young people, go back to your communities. Whatever I said in my political move, I made it clear. If I did not win, NPP will not win. I did not win, but NPP did not win. And it's not money. It's not always money. Millions of dollars was spent in West Coast to beat Yankuba Dabo. It was not possible. It's not because we cannot beat Yanks, but because there is a faction that was able to build Potiba with Sisebuo. Nibe political kono be as an African young man, try and build that. And I tell my friends, no matter how bad it was, Ahmad Gitteh is not based in the Gambia. I have not lived in the Gambia for the past 15 years. I was able to get a little less than 7,000 votes. I have 6,798 votes. 6,798 votes. Now, that may be very small to you. That's okay. But calculate how many votes, how many 7,000 votes is in 500,000 votes. How many 7,000 votes is in 500,000 votes? No leader in that country ever got 500,000 votes. No leader in the Gambia's history ever got votes that is equivalent to 500,000. Now, if Ahmad Gitteh, a young man, is able to build a capital, out of all odds, no matter how bad it is, whenever we go to elections in West Coast, I can swear to Allah and I can tell you, I will get at least 5,000 votes. Now, if you are a young man in West Coast or in the Gambia, multiply 7,000 or let's say 5,000 times 100, you have 500,000. If you have 100 young people, and how easy it is. In NPP, we have more than 200,000 young people. Young people. If you have 100 of Ahmad Gitteh, nobody will beat you in an election. If you have 100 of me, 5,000, if you have one individual that can give you 5,000 votes, you need 100 of them to have 500,000 votes. There will be plus and minus. I'm trying to tell you, build that capital. No matter how terrible it is, me, I can tell you, you take me to West Coast, you don't need to give me money, you don't need to give me anything. For today, if I enter West Coast 1 month, by Allah that created me, I'll produce you 5,000 votes. By 1 month, I'll give you 5,000 votes. I have built that capital and I'm only building on it. Now, there are a lot of people that are telling me, Gitteh is political party, Gitteh is dead, Gitteh is dead. Don't worry about Gitteh. I know what I'm doing. Because I am with people. I am connected. But it doesn't matter whether you are in UDP, whether you are in NPP, whether you are in DOI. I am telling you, young people build a political capital. There are a lot of young people I see. You are amazing. You have talent. You can be great presidents tomorrow. You can be great National Assembly members. No National Assembly member gets 10,000 votes in that country. It's not money. If it is too much, it's 3,000, 5,000, 4,000. So if you work on yourself in your constituency, try and build a political capital and get yourself to a point that no matter how tough it is, you can produce yourself 3,000 people. That no matter what, they will be with you. It can increase, but it can never go down. And me, I have built that, and I sign it. My political capital, I will only push it forward. Talking is not good. I have learned about that too. Stop fighting with people. Stop arguing with people. Stop expressing your opinion on everything you see. Nobody knows what I'm up to today. Even my NPP people, I am NPP. But even them, sometimes big ones among them will call me, Gitteh, you are very quiet. I hope all is well. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Of course, I'm a family man. I am busy. But of course, I am in contact with my base. I am paying school fees for people. People get sick. If I have little, I share with them to go to hospital. If teams need jerseys on the ground, one football, I give it to them. A family doesn't have a bag of rice. I may not have a bag of rice for everybody. Have a bag or $2,000 or $1,000. I share that with you. Keep connections. That is if you have money. If you don't have money, do the others. And Babukar Fele. And you are one example I wanted to use. Babukar BK Koli. He ran in as a member of parliament in Combo South. He got, I don't know, about 7,000 votes too. So Babukar BK Koli. Another example is Bakari Baji. Bakari Baji did not have any political party. And again, I'm not telling you about political parties. I'm not talking about Talib Bensouda, Yanks Dabo, CDCC. That's not political capital. No, that is not political capital. That one, there is a structure in place. I'm sure all of you know, if I had been given my rightful victory in NPP, you knew I was going to beat Yankuba in a way that nobody will even, people will think I'm crazy with the way I'm going to beat Yankuba. But Babukar worked hard as an independent candidate. He was able to produce about 7,000 votes. Bakari Baji went to KMC, Team Bakari Baji. He worked on the ground and he was able to build about 5,000 votes. I'm not talking about people that the political party give them a platform already and they that blah blah and they no. Build your community. Your party can betray you. Your leader can betray you. Your colleagues can betray you in the party. It can happen. But make sure you build a capital enough to a point that when they betray you, they face consequences. Do that. If you do that, you are not only respected by them, but you are respected by the enemy too. They monitor, they know. And politics is about numbers. Whoever plays with you is joking. So lafta wala falalie. Alal hakilo to woto back. Alni moli e nyomoy. 2026 is coming. We have a great National Assembly. But hey, we want a better National Assembly. A National Assembly with lieutenant colonels retired. We have a National Assembly with senior intelligence officers retired. We have a National Assembly with powerful lawyers. We have a National Assembly. That is what we want. Our resources, our money will be distributed well, and our country's other branches of government will be held to account. We still want a better National Assembly. We want to improve the National Assembly. We want to make sure you young people, great ones amongst you, get prepared for 2027 National Assembly elections. Get prepared for it. This is very, very, very important. And that is what I have to tell you. Again, I am not telling you go and build a political party. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you, make sure you watch your back. Watch your back. Stay in your parties, but build your political capital. Build your political capital, because that's very, very important. It's important. That is what I have for all of you today. And bravery is important in politics. You have to be brave. You have to be honest. You have to be truthful. There will be a lot of enemies, but if you fear, because there are a lot of people who believe your rise is their fall. So your successes, they would think, as mathematics would say, are indirectly proportional. They would think if you are in a group, your success is their failure. Their success, they will think, is your failure. So people will have those perceptions. But if you have your community, wherever you are, whichever political party you are, you go to them, you be with them, and you do not be a liability. Everybody can say anything they want about Gitteh. You can say anything you want about him. But to say he is not a good politician, to say he is not capable of bringing numbers, to say he's not capable of adding value, that's not, nobody would tell you that. Nobody would tell you. And we are building on top of it. We are building on it. And there is history. The issues I have with my party, of course you know about it. And I made these declarations very clearly. On Kerfatu, when I was interviewed in early April, I told people, NPP, if I don't win, you will not win. I don't know about other regions, but if you don't win, if I don't win, you will not win. And they did not win. Parliamentary election, I told them, if my candidate does not win, yours will not win. And it did not win. Local government election, I told them, you are going to lose. If you have 5 votes, five seats, I told that to Ibrahim Asila, and I was on Ifam Bondi, Sultan's program. Go to YouTube, they're all there. I told them, if you have 5 seats at the local council in Brikama, my tail there. And going to 2020, when I told UDP too, I told them, if you win, I'm going to die, I tell you. And we won, we beat UDP. So you watch those stuffs and make sure you are connected to your local community. If you want to be a politician, build these things. And the other thing is, downfall will always happen. Downfall will always happen. This is my last point. Now, you will not always win at your first attempt. You may not win at your second attempt. You may not win even at your third attempt. But if you want to be a good politician, you must be able to wake up from your fall. You must be able to wake up and re-prepare yourself from failures. There will always be failures. There are people who would tell you, Gitteh's political career is done. I have not even started my political career. And I can tell you, with the performance that I have produced, they will tell you, the performance I have produced, not living in the country, not supported by a political party. No, that is for me is phenomenal. And I'm very proud. With that little money, we could produce a little less than 7,000 votes from West Coast. That is a lot. If you count all the National Assembly members in the Gambia, very few have 7,000 votes. And they are supported by political parties, for example. So we are building on that too. There are people today who regretted very badly why they did not vote for me. There are people who said if we had known, we would have voted for you. If we had, especially if I'm talking about my party. Now, this is not about UDP. So we are building on top of these things. So this is something that I think you all need to know. Young people, you can argue, you can disagree with Gitteh, but there is one thing you should observe about me too. You will never see me, for example, I disagree a lot with Yanks Dabo. I disagree a lot with Talib Bensouda. I disagree a lot with Kemo Bojang. I disagree a lot with Babkar Siddiq Jamme, my brother Honorable Kemeseng's son. I disagree a lot with a lot of people from Doi and from other parties. But one thing I don't do, and I repeat, one thing I don't do is going to their Facebook post and insult them there. Is to go to their post that they made. I see their posts. Some of them are my friends. And if I make my videos, I generally address a matter. Most of the time, if I am addressing politics, I address a leader of a political party because that is the individual heading the team. Like Usainu Dabo, Mama Kande, you know, President Barrow, for example. But be careful of your colleagues, even from the other side of the aisle. Politics is very funny. And I said this, and I will repeat this. There was someone that would insult my parents in 2021, and I think I said it here. When I went independent, he contributed $20,000 to my campaign, and he was with me. He's 100% UDP. But he supported me, and he voted for me, and he gave me $20,000 to my campaign. He is in the Gambia. He lives in Brikama. So be careful, and sometimes when you don't like a person, be careful. A lot of things change in politics. Some of you that are very low in hierarchy of your political parties, someday you may become National Assembly candidates in your constituencies. Someday you may become candidates for chairmanship. You may become presidential candidates. Don't underrate yourselves. But look ahead. In 10 years, where would Gitteh and I be? Would I ever need him? Is he somebody that can add to my value politically? Ask your questions about that Gitteh. If the answers are 50% yes, be careful of the way you deal with Gitteh publicly. Because you may need him tomorrow. For example, you may be insulting me for Usainu Dabo. You may be insulting me for Adama Barrow. But God may propel you tomorrow to get to a level you want where Adama Barrow is, you want where Usainu Dabo is, and you need Gitteh for that. We are all growing. So if you think that way, and that is why I tell you, look at my post, watch me. I hardly go after friends like, you know, rank and files in parties. I don't do that. The principle is clear. Your policies are wrong. What your leaders say is wrong, is not true, is right, is not right. That's what actually UDP people will get angry with me for. But going after Talib Bensouda or going after Amadou Sane or going after Yanks Dabo or going after Babakar Siddiq for supporting Hussein Dabo. No. They go after Barrow and I go after Dabo. And we look at what Dabo say, we discredit or we credit. That is what you do as a young man. Mo kana juta fangola. Yenena kana juta fangola. Ikana juti fangola. Because imalon sama mimbekela. There are a lot of movements in politics. Nimmo koye ko. Jita nim President Barrow be nyameng. Lumbe sotola. Jita be carte fayo gagnela. President Barrow e balang. Iba fala mare mu wulonti. President Barrow be mo sambala nang. Min nene man fenka aya selendi jite kam. Iba fala ebe wulian. Nimmo nene ko e ko minne history lo. Sirifu diba. Aning Usain aning sa dawda be kuyalal. Inene resonna. Nimmo ko e ko Usain Dabo. Lawyer Usainu Dabo. Aning Adama Barrow te taraku killing. Lumbe sotole te taraku killing. Ite son. Nimmo ko e ko Dr. Cisse, Ismaila Cisse, President Barrow ba ke la ministre tile. Iba fala ma rete ka dololo ni. Mbedi amu ka mantra wuli afoka nka kumo le fo ali lamoy. Ngal lamoy nyola. Hakilo fana ngal lamoy. Yalon kadi amu nka fala wate nindi amuta you think I'm crazy. But go watch my videos and listen. You don't have to take me for any serious person. But nindi amute ilamoy. Ala kala jongol sole amanke imam fenkai. Nimmo ko Dr. Cisse, Ismaila Cisse, President Barrow lumina lota kai where are you? Wolum kamfa membe Barola Cisse la kuoto. Dr. Cisse la kuoto nimmo ko B. President Barrow be wala kala minister. Eba hala mari ko ngakodola ite son. I'm sure you all agree. Nimmo ko ye ko APRC Honorable Sidin Jai Bekela Speaker, Deputy Speaker di Gambia, ite son. 2016, Sidin Jai, what transpired? Sidin Jai Mimbefo against NPP coalition, UDP coalition. Niko eko B, wala bekela Speaker di ite son, Deputy Speaker di ite son. Fabakar Tombonjata, Yaya Jammenin tolbe nyame, coalition obenu nyame, eko Fabakar Tombonjata will become the Speaker under Adama Barrow. Usainu Dabo will be fired from vice presidency. Ibafala, that is not true. Ntesonna. Nimmo ko eko babala commando Momodu Sabali. Lumbe Sotola. Atelebe kela President Barrow la generaloti. Itesonna. Itesonna. President Barrow la babala Momodu Sabali. Nimmo ko eko sama. Abe kelate. Itesonna. Wote hakilotu. I'm very careful. I told you, I've learned a lot. And we are coming up. And I am telling you, as a young man with these experiences, build a political career. Build political career. And be very careful. Be moderate. 2026 bedulalde. Ndelaba fulale jang. Nde right now. Mbetembo mindoteng. Mam moje ganyerim follow. Mba folale, like I said, when Fatou Toure asked me back in April whether CDCC was going to beat me in terms of numbers at the polls, I told him, I told Fatou Toure on Ker Fatou, on that very day, no, it was not possible. But a lot of factors will come to play later. That is monetary factor, propaganda factor, a lot of factors will come to play. And that might change. BT loan de be NPP 100% be NPP. Baringa long community kono B, Sainteng. Ngamil long, Sainteng. I don't know who will win an election. Right now. Wallahi alladhi khalaqani, I don't know who will win an election right now. In 2021, 2 years before an election, I could tell you that Barrow was going to win. And I was sure, adunga fomole, Sainteng, situation of Benyaming in the country. And from the samples I am picking, again, I'm a statistician. These are my interests. I can tell you for today, on the 23rd of October, no, I don't know who is going to win an election. I want NPP to win an election in 2026. Barimbe tembo mindote maj malo mimbe win na signed. I don't know who will win an election. Bari mim kumayata woti mobe ta ye famo parende tela molia diko alnga findi eni mo wili kiliya fundi ebe bunya sotola niko alnga findi kanatu wuro da mala funding kewlu. You are better than that now. You will thank me later. You will thank me because you will put all your hopes and trust in somebody, whether directly or indirectly. And tomorrow, you will not like what that person does. And you may want to change, but you will change with nothing. You will have nothing to change with. Build your own capital and give that capital to who you want to take that capital. Wolom political. If I'm a bill, if I'm a dada, lo if I'm a yemol soto ye jama soto e koma. Nimmin na kuo diate nyaton koldo. Inila o jama eta o nyaton koya. Is that a political party konofang? Political party molye dunyo lagi. Ila jama ite amera minyanda kala nyaton kodi Usain Dabo lombang, Talib Bensouda lombang, Yankuba Dabo lombang, Rohimali Kilo lombang. Ila o jama ilafta di la minna wol kono. In the party ya di one. Build a political capital. You will thank me later. Build a political capital. Today, that is my discussion. One person asked a question, and I'm going to answer that question. And I'm sure a lot of people will be okay with it after I am done here. There'll be no more questions. People ask me why I went back to NPP, why I did not leave because of what they did to me, their feelings and all of that. I addressed this matter and I don't want to address it again. You see, Bob Maliko, momim borta kelola. Foluye sotoe kelo ke koteke. Bob Mali leof. NPP, ntolenga law. I want all of you to know that. We build the party. I may be mistreated. I might be offended. Things might happen to me. I may be marginalized. All that might happen. But if I feel there is an injustice in my party, in my compound, in my community, moving to another community does not solve the problem. I probably might be one of the strongest to challenge those problems, those issues, and fix them. If I run away, you know what's going to happen? That community is going to get spoiled. NPP is my party. I am not out of NPP. I'm not leaving NPP. I will stay and fight whatever is wrong in the party. If there is anything that is wrong, I will stay and fight it until I see it fixed. That is my philosophy. So it's not about kodo, like they will say money and no money. You know, nobody gives me money. I mean, during the politics, those were clear here. People were saying, Pamodu Bojang was saying a lot of things. Gitteh, millions of dollars in a diala. They gave Gitteh a lot of millions. They would say all of that. Gitteh, brown envelope. You say all of that. But NPP mi alko wole ka dinna alko minu ka dinna. Ni wole problemo soto. Mo kilinde fundi la ya foko nga brown envelope on call di Gitteh. Nobody came out. Nobody will come out to accuse me of any. If they have it, they would have destroyed me. Baronin Dabo Benyola, Falme, Dabo Bafala land, Baro Bafala land. Dabo. If politicians are angry with each other, the first thing they do when they go out is to destroy each other by revealing each other's bad stuff. That's what politicians do. You think when they are giving me millions, they wouldn't say it? We know National Assembly members who were giving money. when UDP and Barrow were one. When the problem happened, one side said it. They came out. Leaders come out and say, we did this for you, we did this for you, we did that for him, we did that. How many of them in NPP did you hear? Let them bring evidence. I eat millions. I'm not that kind of a person. Not everybody is motivated. Again, young people, a lot of you don't know me. Like, you see me from afar. I want money. Money is nice. But you probably don't know my mentality and my way of thinking. You don't know how I think. And you can go and ask. It is not money that motivates me. It is not. Of course, money is important in my life. It's important to me. But the NPP nka killing target, nga election okele. 2 things they were saying about me, or 3 things. These were the things they said. And that is all they would tell me. Iko nga fulo leneng ani mandingkol. Well, mandingkol you can say because statement of Fatabrikamale ko nga mandingkol nenne. You know that one, arguable. UDP nkoli otale. 2021. And I made those statements to make some people get the votes. NPP have messages against me at primaries. Ikonga manding call leneng. But demba sabalia ad ikonga fulol ne fanane. Adun dena naman fulane. Monene ta fola ko Gitteh fulol ne. Jahan call nim fulol tema fulol almo fulol. O kola. Nobody will ever say ko Gitteh has ever singled out fullers and insulted them. But that is what they said. Nobody ever said, we gave him millions, he did this, we found him doing this, he is corrupt, he is that. Nobody. They will say it. They will say, ngaso million on la janengai business okay. They would say it. Just to make sure I look foolish. But it's not there. So you that I would say money is not money. NPP is mine. I love that party. I built it and I love it. I might not be in agreement with a lot of the leaders in those days. And again, that is in the past. That is in the past. But I'm telling you, I am back to NPP because it is my party. It is my compound. It is my baby. And I wanted to fix the problems of the Gambian people. Is it doing that? Partly, yes. Do we have problems? A lot of problems. Am I happy with everything that is? So absolutely no. I'm not happy with everything that is going on with the party. Government, I have little to say. Because the party leader made it clear, ala politician only on the government na quote. That is what he said. One of the reasons why, in fact, I don't have to say anything about government. They build hospitals because President Barrow said politicians that's what he says. I know no politician does that in life. That is what President Barrow says. So they told me, I say, that is very good. Why would I waste my time and go to Facebook and defend what he did and defend his policies when the president says, politician and again, that is the first time in the history of my life I had a politician, a political leader made that kind of a statement to his politicians. Because as far as I know, governance and politics are one and the same. It is politics that runs government. But leaders in the party said, well, the president says, politician only a dabondala mansakunda. Alhamdulillah. If you defy it, if you go against it, they will hold me, they will tell me, oh, Gitteh mankulu, abuka kebala kumoma, he doesn't have this. Go, okay. Why would I write about president's development? That is government. Why would I go after somebody that is accusing the president? That is government. It's not my business because that's what President Barrow says. Don't interfere into my government. So I will not interfere in his government. Whatever is happening in his government, I will not interfere. That is what I heard he said. Ning 2026 Karte Faiwato Sita. We will participate. And I'm very clear about this. The reason why I'm not writing when President Barrow say this about his government, when Amadou Samade achieved something, when Dauda Jallo did something, when Ibrahim Silla achieved building roads, we are told the president says politicians don't interfere. NPP politicians, alalda bondi na mansa kundala court. Alala politiko ke, alalda bondi na mansa kundala court. Nganda bondi mansa kundala court. Let's stay on our lane. That's what I am doing, because that's what I heard he said. And I'll go by that. But other than that, NPP, I am 1,000,000% a member of the party. And I'll defend my party. And I'll support my party when the time comes. If I'm not happy with my party, I will channel it. But I told me to be banda. Amanke kodoti, amanke palasoti, amanke femoti. O Martin nade. Of course, it will be very important nga tara party okono nga doko ke party oe nga doko ke manzakunda, but manzakunda is not. We have no. I don't talk about government because that's not mine. That is President Barrow's own. President Adam Barrow owns that. He deals with how he wants to deal with it. But our political party is ours. We all own that. Even though there may be things going on that we may not like, but it's our party. UDP, there are a lot of things that you don't like about your party, but you are still members of your party. So don't disturb me about that. That's it for you today. I am happy. I'm proud of all of you. Young people, be careful. Whether you are in UDP, APRC, build a political capital. You will thank me. Me, I am doing it every day. Yale malong. I am building. I am building support. And I am talking to people with policies and programs. People ask me, do you think what is happening in the country is okay? Do you think what is... I have answers for them. I talk to them about what I feel. I look at policies. I look at the Yirwa documents. And I went after, 2050 transformation document of Usman Sonko. I look at this document and I'm going by that page by page. And how is that affecting, or how is that going to affect the Gambia in future, especially for young politicians like me? Almalen zo kairola, almalen tanga shetanola, alnga domandoma nyofe, ntolemu kilinti, kana moja wea etambi. Nga dalili jamale fajan, Kenya banko kan sainte, jebe manerim back, Kenya right now, if you follow politics, your best friend can be your worst enemy in politics tomorrow. Your worst enemy can turn to your best friend tomorrow. When you see people that are able to produce you something, even if you are not in agreement with them, be careful. And look, don't allow leaders, especially in the Gambia now, to divide you. Aliu Khan, Watson Gambia, he used to tell me this in 2021. Don't burn bridges. Never burn bridges. Yanks Dabobe West Coast, I talked to him. He's my brother. Talib Ben Suda KMC, I talked to him. He's my brother. Talk to your chairman in Basse. If you are in UDP, he's NPP. Talk to him. Talk to your chairman in KMC. Talk to your parliamentarians. Talk to your politicians. Don't allow leaders to make you give your back on people. You may need them tomorrow. Monene malonko Adamo Barobe bola UDP abe lebulo mindo. Ainake mansati. Ibe lebulo mindo bi. Mansata lada maleka moke mansati. Allahumma malikal mulki tutil mulka man tasha. Adamaleka oke. Ibe dauda in your group. Don't underrate others. And don't allow others to use you to underrate them. Politically, you have your mind, you have your policies. If they have policies that are bad, if they are corrupt, if they are doing bad stuff, say it. Because my next video, maybe next week, will be about local government commission. Because I have a special interest, especially as it relates to Banjul City Council. You all are aware that 27 staff members are removed, are sent on suspension from Banjul City Council. One of them is their former director of finance, Mamadou Camara. Mamadou Camara was until his, compulsory leave. He sent on compulsory leave. Was the director of finance at Brikama Area Council. They moved him from Banjul to Brikama. But for some of you, that might be following me for a long time. You remember Social Security, Mohammed Manjang's case. And perhaps a lot of you remember the amount of fight I did for the poor taxpayers who were keeping their pensions with Social Security. I'm not talking about those who started insulting in 2021. I'm talking about those who were following me. When Mohammed Manjang, the former Social Security managing director, had a problem with some of his corrupt senior staff, Abulai Cham and this Mamadou Camara was senior manager finance. The amount of money he destroyed, only Allah knows. Only Allah knows how much money he destroyed. Some of us, that time, UDP and NPP were one. It was coalition. Honorable Dabo was vice president at the time. I personally had an issue with the principal about Mohammed Manja. One of the problems, in fact, I had first, especially with President Barrow, was Mohammed Manjang's case. I'm sure a lot of you know how much I defended Manja. And the point was, people that are corrupt, don't defend them. It's not godly. It's not in the, it's not. Amanke alala silot. Amanke kilala silot. Adama dingol minumu mo jawolti. Kane sembentuya. Mohamed Manjana kuwe problemo dinde famala. Na problemo be with this government, this coalition government, Barrow government, akumasta in defending Mohamed Manja. I'm sure you all remembered Alkali Conte. He is now the ambassador in Turkey. We will talk about that's going to be my next video for next week. That Mamadou Camara, I told government, this guy, Mohammed Manjang, was out to defend the government. You people, abatole to diaka, abe keloke ka tolle, adabe loring atolle. Alkane la moy Mamadou Camara nyol neng abla cham nyol. Bari, ye Mohammed Manjang bay. The rest is history. Mamadou Camara mi e kodo tinya ay ma sibo la fuarol kan. Inabe ko tike dokuo diala ya samba Banjul City Council. O Banjul City Council koteke. O Mohammed ima bay de Mamadou Camara ima bay ya move from Banjul City Council ya samba Birikama Area Council as Director of Finance. Local Government Commission ye wolle ta ya suspend sign because audit report the same Mamadou Camara that I queried about in 2018 has again been involved in mismanagement and destruction of public money. A lot of you think, oh, he's a bootlicker, he's money guy. You don't know my history. I told Jamal, if you know how much I am fighting for the truth for that country, some of the things you tell me, you will not. And a lot of you don't also know about history. Mamadou Camara, go read. Go on Facebook. Go to YouTube and search Ahmad Gitteh on Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation. My next video is going to be about that Banjul City Council and particularly that Mamadou Camara. And perhaps I am vindicated against Alkali Conde because then he was President Barrow's best friend. Alkali Conde, the ambassador in Turkey. And some of you remember that. And these are things that brought a lot of issues and whatever they call it against me. The next video is going to be about that one. And generally, corruption, And we will continue talking until election comes by the grace of Allah. We have enough of material on our table. We watch, we observe, we see. We are not stupid, we are intellectuals. We discourse, we gather intelligence. financial intelligence, economic intelligence, security intelligence, and, the overall well-being of the society, social intelligence, healthcare intelligence, educational intelligence. We may be quiet and not coming, but we are concerned about our country. And I am one of those that played a very big role in making sure we have NPP government. So I have a role to play. I have a responsibility to Gambian people. Because if we want to come in 2026 to ask for you again to help us, we must be honest with you. We must be genuine with you. And I am one of those that is going to play that role by the grace of Allah. Whatever comes, obe alalabul. Ngamodol moy konye Gitteh ide, because you never know what's going to happen. Yalo nima molong. Ima molong. Adama di on ilata alala. Itam minti alaya. Alabo dile lale. But ala oye yamar minna woke. Tonyafo. Man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyirhu biyadihi fa in lam yastati' fa bi lisanihi fa in lam yastati' fa bi nafsihi aw fa bi qalbihi wa dhalika ad'afu al-iman. Kila lenyef adun kila la fanako sallallahu alayhi wa sallam al-mu'minu al-qawiyyu mu'mino mi alonko ke kendolem tonya folalem ahabbu ila Allah ala wala kanu min al mu'minu da'if mu'minoti mi alon ka te mo lamfuri ngolti tonya fo yeke mo tilindi ngoti yeke ala la jon kendoti. At the end of the day, hani nyim politiko be fa man na fenke. At the end of the day, ni ko mole ko corruption ole be kera amam betea, ni ko mole ko nyinne be kera amam betea. Nimman sa kam faade kama wala adama dingol kam faade kama la interest la wala imam fem fa soto kon fa alkiyama ala te jon fa ala te jon fa man ya'mal misqala dharratin khairan yara wa man ya'mal misqala dharratin sharran yara fa ala mawla alkiyama lolu ala be ma ko ilal ndollata minna from an educated family mfama nkarani mina Qur'ano min foloda wala mnyindi ko ale lahido min tamo kendoli wala mnyindi ko wala aqibatu lil muttaqin. Kila nyom fuaru manso ar-rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he was a pauper. You know a pauper, like somebody so poor that you will not believe. He was such a poor man. He will go and borrow from places to eat. Sometimes he will not have food in his house for 3 days. 3. Me, I throw food with my family. I throw food. I will not be grateful to God. Ala kole ko laba nyinya. Ngawle guarantee mutakinoli. Wala aqibatu lil mutaqin. The end result, the best of the ending, is for those that are conscious of God. So tonyavo. Hani ya jamme bi alab abesirin damen gine kotor kotor. Wallahi, there are people he remembers, and he would say, had I known, I listened to these people. Had I known, I work with these people. Had I known, I bring these people close. Ya jamme. Today, I'm not saying when he was in power and people were telling him stuff, but today he is lonely, all alone without any power. Wallahi, today, Jame will say, Wallahi, because he will remember when he is alone. When you are no longer in power, you no longer have anything. These things come back. Your mind will keep reminding you. And when you see people, you will say, oh, if I had done this, I will do this. Mimben tolkam, niye mo kanu, amakoy. Amakoy de? Ntolbe lola wala kam. Dolmen ka falte palaso solo palaso. Ala la palaso. Atele kechi kayeke fe offend. Anabla Suleiman. Wala fenke Talut. Talut nyomo anyom fuarote no ala bankoka. President Barrow is a very good example of Talut. He was very poor, a very small man. Talut. You know about Talut, huh? The story of Talut. Very small man, very weak man. When Allah wants to make him a king, he made him a very strong man. He brought him sakina. Wa anzala minas sama sakina. Sakina kuneba kakodo jurmije. President Barrow moma tolong. He was very good with UDP, but kabirin ala lafta akela fendi. Aye dula be jagasi. Ala le wono la hawla wala quwwata illa billah. Aye dula be dunyoto. Moliye mansaya mira mol miye karle be kela mansati karle msembetiot ala ya be dunyoto ay fonyok ay trubado samana ay banko be dunyoto ay dol niyo kuntu akono alanka wala foye woto na lafta fenna bese ya kala bese ya kawo alala ndeka wala fo moliye alanga tara nyoy ngana parti o bill NPP we will come to that but alanga ke tonya moti nyoy Palaso bi atol sadomo sama ala badila dollan ale wallahi doldi o tilikal ayyamu nudawiluha bayna nas ite lafta wala malafi wala ite min selete la tilo malata lunkini la tilo be burukala no buka bay adiyate akuyate anabila Suleiman ala ya siokundu Suleiman na la sembo wa warisa Suleiman Daud wo Suleiman ba ala mansa ya kundu ay anabila Yusuf la mansa ya kundu ay anabila Musa la mansa ya kundu jumala bi jata mina mansa ya kundu ababe la kundu abebe falina dolel bina bari ni tata mol nata ni bije ni tata esa kata mol ye remember ko kari akatonya la fonu bari min kuma yata o beti ini mario se ben asafo ko ngesedi ale ko mo tonya mole tonu man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyiruhu biyadihi fa illam yastati' fa bilisanihi fa illam yastati' fa biqalbihi alse o talielo partio kuma yata bankola kuma yata partio tide lafta base o kalanda. I want everybody to know about that. So we're NPP and we thank all of you. We have started our political discussions. Gitteh is back. I am back. I am back. And I have put up the lineup for until perhaps end of the year. And inshallah, we'll be visiting Gambia very soon and we'll continue to do our stuff. But thank you so much, everybody. We thank you. We're grateful. Inshallah. See you next week.